everybody, and welcome to DIY Doll Artist. Today I thought I would show everybody how I made these little lollipops for the dolls that were in our last video. I didn't think we had enough time to show this, so I decided to do it in a separate video. It'll be short, but it should be fun. So here are some of the things that you're going to need in order to make it. We have the Model Magic by Crayola. It is an air dry clay. You could probably do this with a polymer clay, but then you would need to fire it in the oven. All this takes is 24 hours to dry and you are good to go. So I am going to also we're going to need the Model Magic Glossy Glaze that makes them nice and firm. And I use the Tacky Glue to insert my little stick. So we're going to set these things aside. And I am going to show you. They all come in a bag. And I have put them, since I've opened this, I've put them in another bag. Try to get out as much of the air because it is an air dry clay. You want to make sure that it is not open to the air. Otherwise, it will all get hard. So to get started, I always put down a piece of parchment paper because I don't know about you, but I have some four-legged family members and their hair likes to travel everywhere. So I want to have a clean surface because this will definitely pick up whoever's hair happens to be around or any other little bits of lint. So first of all, we're going to start with a piece of the white. And we're just going to kind of make it into a little bit of a cylinder. See? Then I'm going to take a piece from each of these colors. And I am going to just try to make sure that it's kind of the same length. Then I'm going to flatten it slightly. And then I'm going to place it on the white. Take off any extra. Now I want to warn everybody that once these touch each other while they're still sort of a wet material, they don't want to unstick. So you want to have everybody apart. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit more white, but not a lot. These are our stripes, and there's always a little bit of white. If you notice that, there's a little bit of white in between the colors. So in order to do that, you need to have a little bit of white. And I'll move on to the next color. It's not the right shape, just roll it back together and try again. Just gonna, now as you see, I know that these kind of look alike, but this is red and this is orange. I got the orange, of course, by putting a little yellow with some of the red. Now I'm going to continue to do this with a little bit of the white in between all the way around till I get all these colors. So here is the finished part that I've done. So now, if you notice, you got the white in the middle, white on the sides, color in the middle. of those white pieces. And you want to take into consideration when you're using air dry clay, you don't want to leave it sit. It will immediately start to dry out. So what we're going to do in order to get this beautiful spiral is we're going to just roll this. And what I'm doing is I'm taking my fingers and I'm slowly pushing them outward as I'm rolling. And I'm not going to need all of this. So I am going to just cut a little piece off, and then I'm going to put this in a piece of plastic to keep it safe from drying out so it can be used later. So with this piece, I'm just going to keep doing the same thing that I was. I'm going to just keep rolling it out till it gets to a nice long piece of clay. Okay, that's good. So as you can see, the diameter of this one is a good deal bigger than the one that I did for the 14-inch to 18-inch dolls. But I think I'm going to make this particular sucker for a larger doll. So if you want it to be smaller in diameter, this part, then you just are going to keep rolling it out until it gets thinner. But since I want to do a thicker one, I'm going to leave it this diameter. So all we're going to do is very gently come down and give it a slight, very slight twist. You can also do that when we are making the spiral for the lollipop. So all we're going to do, it's very simple, is twist it slightly, take the end, curl it in and under, and then just keep doing that, letting it adhere to itself. Then you have a spiral. So then what I did, because this is very soft right now, I'm going to take one of my skewers, which is going to be the stick, and I'm going to very, very gently stick it through, just sort of twisting it back and forth so that we know that it's gone in. You don't want to come through like I just did. You want to make sure that it goes through, and then you will have a hole that your stick can go into after this is completely dry. So there is, it's not finished, but it's ready to dry. Once it has had about 24 hours to dry, then you can put this on it, and this really makes it shiny, but it also gives it a little bit of more stability. It is called Model Magic Glossy Glaze, and it really does work. You can see on this one, you can see that it's kind of shiny, and on this one that hasn't had it yet, it is rather dull. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glaze this one, but first I'm going to put in a stick. And the way that I do that is I take a tacky glue and I put some on the end, and then all I have to do is insert it, let it dry, and then you can put your Model Magic on the top and you have a finished Lollipop. Another really neat thing that you can do with this stuff is I made this pin out of the same stuff, the same clay, and put a pin back on it. It's a little mini pin that you could either use for your dolls, or they definitely work for people too. So there are some of the finished products. Well, there she is with her lollipop and her pin, her mini pin. And this technique can be used to not just do lollipops the way I did. They could be used to make all kinds of different candies. They have spiral candies that stick on a stick, or little ones that you just cut the rope, and then you can use plastic wrap as the covering. I can't take credit for this particular technique because I actually saw this on YouTube years ago, and it was used for a different purpose, and I made it my own, which is something that you can do. You know, let your imagination just run wild. I do hope that everybody enjoyed this short little video. You know, this is the best kind of candy. You get to look at it and it doesn't have any calories or put on any pounds. And I think the dolls look really cute with them. So until next time, remember, it is possible to do it yourself. Bye, everybody.